Good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now, December 4th, 2025. Attention at this moment, at this hour, in this space of history. Fighter jets and the United States of America's E-3 airborne radar surrounding the coasts of Venezuela. Family, your likes, your comments. Let's begin. Good evening, family. Welcome to Military Strategies. Let's go straight to the map. A few seconds ago, what we were hoping to see just happened. I was on the La Guarimba channel with Gaston and Mar. We were watching the crowd, and I said, Marco, we want to see people running from the crowd. Show us, where are you? It's done. 5 minutes later, someone decided that the trackers should be activated. And we saw the refueling plane, the radar plane, the airborne command, right off the coast of Venezuela. And also, we have breaking news coming from Puerto Rico. From Ceiba, the carriers and the F-35S have taken off. And this afternoon, La Parca, a B-52, along with what seems to be another one. They were flying over there. What's happening in Venezuela now? What's going on? The hammer? The hammer? Military leaders took them to the set. And one of the generals, when the planes appeared, disappeared. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. We're going to keep watching images on the screen because something could happen at any moment. We'll have it right there on the screen.
Yep.
Well, this is to understand. Yes, what we're thinking could happen. It could happen at any moment. The first message for the regime, the message is clear. Confiso, direct. You haven't left. We're going to kick you out. Welcome, family. Are the super chat goals open? Let's also watch Nicolas Maduro talking about the phone call with Donald Trump. Let's also watch Donald Trump talking about Nicolas Maduro, about Venezuela.
Hola.
We're going to keep watching things, but myself, look, one just showed up here. This one just showed up switching on and off repeatedly. I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm not going to change this screen more than necessary because the screen, tonight, the air radar is key. A historic day for Argentina. Congrats to our Argentine community. Their F-16s are already on the way and they have received the first batch of Stryker armored vehicles. This is going to give Argentina a very important military capability. They are going to regain their sovereignty and soon I believe the Navy will also receive some things. And they are going to manage to drive out all those illegal Chinese ships that are depleting Argentina's waters. That's right. The gavel is there, and everyone is focused and attentive to what's happening now. It's a historic moment. We've been announcing it, and Donald Trump said it today. I'm going to anticipate a couple of things now. Donald Trump made it clear. We're going to do it by land soon. Very soon we're going to go by land. Soon. We know it's soon. And all the pieces are there. The aircraft carrier, everyone is there. And in the end, it's a pretty complicated situation. It's a situation... This must be solved immediately. Venezuela can't wait. I've actually changed the show's title. It was all or nothing, and that's exactly what it is. Free Venezuela or lose everything. Venezuela has already become the symbol of resistance against the most outdated communism. Against the dictators, the old dictatorships that persist over time. And it's the beginning of the fall of the global fall. Even though it already started in Argentina, now with, Honduras and El Salvador are already in the group. Everything will fall like a castle, like a house of cards. Everything will fall, everything will flow. But the events have to happen, and they have to happen now. It's important that they happen. We can't wait any longer. There's no more time. It's now or never. Now, freedom or slavery forever? We don't want that for Venezuela. We don't want any of this. Let me tell you, yesterday I had the chance to record a live stream with Nitu. Nitu? Incredible. For those who don't know her, let me explain. Nitu Perez Osuna is one of the most prominent journalists in Venezuela. She is the woman who confronted Hugo Chavez, and told him, "This is my show and I'm in charge here." Yesterday, I did a live show with her that's truly worth watching. It has received great feedback from the Venezuelan community. We've exposed the regime's secrets and revealed much information.
Yep.
And without a doubt, it's the beginning of everything that's yet to come, of everything that's on its way. All the information that we're going to keep sharing in the coming days, and it's necessary. We have to open up now. We have to open up now. Pandora's box. We have to bring out the heavy artillery now and start airing all the dirty laundry. We have to turn on the washing machine, and someone has already turned it on and set it to spin. Today, specifically, it was Pollo Carvajal. He has sent a letter to Donald Trump. A letter that we are also going to see live now, and we will have details about everything that is happening. It's been amazing to watch. Over this area here, there's an E-3 Sentry. That plane currently fully controls Venezuelan airspace. The United States currently controls all of Venezuela's airspace. At the radar and aerial levels, that is, as far as we know, there are no aircraft within the continental airspace of Venezuela. We have seen a tanker plane in this area here, orbiting in this area, which means it will be waiting for the Harriers and the F-35S. And I'm going to be clear about this. To begin with, the storm doesn't need to become a flood. There are planes. There are 2 B-52s that we don't know where they are. They've been flying around all day. They haven't come back. At least we have no information that they've returned. And it could happen. Would it be logical? In fact, it would be quite logical to think that it's going to happen, that it's going to take place, besides the fact that we want it to happen, besides the fact that we wish for it to happen. It's easy to think, or to feel that it could happen at any moment. We'll show images from the deck as events occur. It's been interesting to see one of the generals who came out of there. He escaped right during the live stream. When the United States planes started to appear, we're going to see it. Let's watch it here. Just a second. Let's look for it. Why? Was it because they took all or just some of the military leadership there? To do a bit of branding, that is, to look good. To say there's unity. That the people are united with the army. Let's look at it over here. Let's look for the audio. Just a second. Let's look over here. These are topics that are hard to understand, but do they make sense?
I'd better dance, of course. He just went out and danced his changa, that's all. They started, they get shocked. Are you okay?
Are you going to have something, really?
Like that, at parties, we get to...
No, look. Look,
There are the soldiers. There are the soldiers. Look at this soldier who appears right at the bottom. It's Ramon. His family vanished months ago in a suspected plane crash. No bodies have been found. Nothing has been found. Tremont is the only one left of all of them. He is neither happy nor content. He doesn't sweat like the rest of the regime. Notice that right now, just a few minutes ago, he was right there at the beginning. You'll see. Notice?
here they are. The fighters of the heroic deed of November 27, 1992. Everyday comrade in the struggle.
All right, there he is. There is Tremont. We're seeing him right there. He's the one in between the two men we see. When the plane from the United States arrived, when they turned on the transponders so they could be seen there, something curious happened. We'll look for it so you can see. Because let's look around in the audience. Tremont has left. Tremont has left the room. They received a call. They were told, "We have planes in front of us." It's an operation that's happening right now, and Tremont has left. I'm trying to find a spot, a cut, where they want to focus now on the military leadership because they're trying not to show them. But there was a moment when they did show them, and it was clearly visible. What was happening? Is now a good time to attack? It could be a good time. It could be the perfect moment. It could be the ideal time to launch the attack due to the large military presence. It's crowded. Everyone is present. And attacking now could seriously damage the regime. Real possibilities. Realistically, I have my reservations. I have my reservations because the aircraft carrier's not currently operating. I'm trying to find a frame where you can see the generals. Because Tremont has left. I'm serious. We've seen it in Gorimba. Tremont has left. He has left the room. When this story happened. All right, let's continue here while we keep looking at more stories about the deck, about what's happening right now. It may happen, or it could happen, that it will be evacuated. We only have images when they want us to know about it. The planes could be nearing Venezuela right now and we wouldn't notice them. But it could be happening. It could be going on. It's a possible scenario among the scenarios that could exist. We're live now on military strategies. Please like. It's super important against the censorship of the entire cartel of the Suns. All these people who want to take down the channel, terrorists, and really crazy people. And today is Edwin's birthday. Wish him well. There are memberships. It's Edwin's birthday today. Congrats, Edwin. Happy birthday to everyone else celebrating, especially some very special people to me. So, congratulations to everyone. People who love us and care about us a lot. Thank you very much, really. Well, thank you. Let's try to see about Nicolas Maduro. Thank you. Spoken, thank you. The call from Trump, El Trump.
I spoke with the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and I can say that the conversation was respectful. I can even say it was cordial. Do they drink? No, it's not between the President of the United States and the President of Venezuela. I'll say more if that call means that steps are being taken toward a respectful dialogue from state to state, from country to country. Dialogue is welcome. Diplomacy is welcome. Because we will always seek peace. Welcome to Europe. Welcome to diplomacy. Welcome to pizza. Yes, God, never in my life I received.
It's tremendous. He keeps mocking Donald Trump and everyone else. Nicolas Maduro. He says that he has been treated as the legitimate president of Venezuela, which is not a lie. Wait, that's a lie. He has not been treated as the president of Venezuela. Marco Rubio and Donald Trump said he isn't the legitimate president, didn't win the election, and is a dictator. They have told him, they have made it clear to him, and they have told him that he has to go. He doesn't even dare to say what the conversation was about because they know it could be leaked. It could get out, and he would be left looking ridiculous. But there he is. making a fool of himself again as usual. Like he always does. A lot of advertising today on El Mazo. They're showing images of Chavez. They're showing a lot.
Simão.
Atrezo, sorry for... To occupy and fill gaps, I think right now everyone is on their cell phones, checking what's happening, whether the United States is going tonight or not, if the Grim Reaper is coming. It's been amazing. The Grim Reaper part already sounds sarcastic. I think they're mocking them. The United States is directly mocking Nicolas Maduro and all these people, and they've sent the Grim Reaper to them. Is it death? A plane called the Grim Reaper? Imagine what he might think when he sees it. La Parca. I think the name already says it, or it could say it all. What's going on with the Venezuelans in Spain? Well, there's a group of Venezuelans who are, poor things, stuck at the airport, stranded, and there's no one taking care of them. There's no embassy or any Venezuelan diplomatic body attending to their needs. And look at what the person meant to be Venezuela's ambassador has done.
No.
I got it. No. No, I'm leaving to talk.
I'm going to Havana. The ambassador of Venezuela has left. Spain, the diplomatic corps has left Spain, and they are going to Havana. And the Venezuelans? They can't afford a plane to pick them up. They can't pay for their ticket to Havana like this sinister creature of the regime is doing. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The ship is sinking. The ship is sinking and they're fleeing like rats. It's every man for himself. Take a look at this video. It will explain it much better. You're going to see it now. You already know that we're live. Family, please let us know where you're connecting from tonight and share it on your social networks. On Twitter. Share the video link with Canalsnet Venezuela to help others find the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. It's important.
No.
But listen to me.
And we...
If they're going to leave us stranded, they're going to leave us stranded here.
Us?
They are going to leave us stranded. It's too shameless for you to leave and for us to stay.
Here, for...
Are there flights for you?
I'm going to Havana.
Yes, but, well, should I ask you, because are there flights from Havana to Cumbiaza?
They're shameless. Oh, no?
They're embarrassed. They're the ones from the embassy. The ones from the embassy. They're shameless. How come? If they go to Havana, are they going to Venezuela? If they go, yes.
They're leaving. Yes, they're leaving.
Brother, they're going to Venezuela.
There's some...
Shameless people. They're shameless people.
Huh.
No, don't grab him.
Don't grab him.
Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you ashamed? You get to go with your family. You haven't struggled. You're shameless.
No.
He understands us because you're here.
Grabbing a...
Village, and you're leaving.
What?
What did you solve?
Say it, huh? What's the solution? Give us a solution. Which solution? And what could it be? It's not that it gives me...
Too much anger. He does go with his family for...
Please, you said that we have...
To be human.
You too, okay?
This is amazing, huh? Is this Madrid Terminal 1 or Terminal 4? I don't know which one it is. Which security had to step in? Let's keep watching the video. The regime abandons its own people, but hasn't it always done that? I mean, when hasn't it done that? When has the regime ever supported its own people or not left all Venezuelans stranded? It has done it always, and it will keep doing it. They care very little or not at all, quite the opposite. What he wants is to send them to their deaths to fight against the United States in case there is an invasion. They claim they don't want to leave, but they and their families are the first to reach safety. All the flights we've been seeing this week, Santa Elena Day, I don't know what, over there in the area with Brazil, all those flights, they have been directed to get the relatives of the regime out. What they've done and what they've wanted to do is get all the relatives of the regime out as soon as possible. For what, right? Huh? They could suffer any kind of harm. It's a terrible, incredible thing. Sinister from this whole regime. Instead of worrying about catching those occasional planes they send, with gold to Spain, to Turkey, that they're sending to other countries for their dirty dealings, what are they doing? They could send planes to bring Venezuelans home, but they don't want to bring anyone home. They want to destroy Venezuela, and that's what they're doing. Unfortunately, it's a human tragedy and a terrible situation people in Venezuela are enduring. This must change and end. Let's keep watching the video because it's just terrible. It's terrible.
I can't talk because they have to go to the information technology person on duty, but what kind of answer is that? They have...
Go to the information technology person on duty? Who is that? You have abandoned your people? Are you abandoning them? There is no consular assistance at the Madrid airport. Where are the people claiming there are flights? Where are the flights? People want to go home and you are going through Cuba?
What should we do meanwhile? They have a diplomat on duty and want to go to their...
Oh, but
But look, you leave.
What is a diplomat's duty if you all leave? They're all running away. This is good. This is a good sign. They're all leaving from all the countries in Europe. The diplomatic corps are abandoning ship. They know that if it falls, they could be arrested as soon as the dictatorship in Venezuela ends. That's why they're all going to leave. Where to? Cuba, paradise. Of the Chavistas?
It's all right. Calm down. We'll stay here.
Tell me, are you okay, Calm?
Of course, it's not just a moment, but look, we have a small child, and he's living in a situation of...
Desperation. Look, my love, nobody knows what... With my 2 babies.
We've already spent a week together. My life.
We listened and completed the paperwork yesterday. Please wait for a response. Coordination is done.
please forgive me. Go to the duty diplomat.
But just imagine, you have us running back and forth.
But all the authorities have already been spoken to. Wait for the response. We are in
A different time zone. We are hours ahead. Save it.
And in that,
The same flight as you. You can't seek a solution. And look
Look at the situation.
that we have. Very good.
silence, silence. There is no solution. It's him. It's total abandonment. They're not a government. They only use embassies and all this kind of political infrastructure to send diplomatic pouches that are not registered. That's what they use it for. They live in houses, in luxury apartments all over Europe with Venezuelan people's money. Meanwhile, people are attention, 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 attention right now live. Here's the tanker plane refueling. And also that Air Force is kilometers away from the destroyer or the cruiser, the missile launcher. Ticonderoga, which is near La Orcala. Right now, live, it just lit up again. There they are. Near Gran Roque Island, at the end, in Venezuela's area of interest, in Venezuela's air control space. We're live now and connecting with the deck for live images. Let's see what's happening on the deck. Right now they're putting... Maduro, sinister in his call with President Trump. There is the plane. Activity again. Activity again. Family, your likes, your super chats. We make comments. We comment on what's happening right now. Important, very, very important. Breaking news, very latest news. There is the plane. A moment of tension in military strategies right now. Because that plane is not alone. It's with fighter jets. It's with the F-35S. It's with the carriers.
I think that
In the end, they're going to evacuate the deck. It would make sense, right? It's logical to think the deck will be evacuated. We are live right now. The most vital moments for Venezuela? No. We're displaying Alcon's image. And we wait to see the cards. The game has started. Donald Trump has moved his planes. Maduro has moved his army. To the guerrilla, arm the civilians. The country is torn between freedom or dictatorship. These are the most critical moments for Venezuela. It's the time to make a mark and describe history.
Yeah.
It's time to free Venezuela.
No.
And it can start at any moment. Family, it can happen. It can occur. We want it to happen. We want it to take place. There we are, family. Right now, live Senate Bill 762 lights up again. At this moment, over the diagonal of Los Roques and La Orchila, a Pegasus is right now turning toward Venezuela's freedom and dream of liberty.
No.
What a beautiful story of Pegasus, the horse that carried Perseus with the head of Medusa to defeat the star player. We could compare the story, we could look for the analogy, the star player of the cartel of the suns, who has to be destroyed with a much greater power. David versus Goliath, Maduro often repeats, referring to the people of Venezuela. A David with an energy and an eternal soul against a tyrant Goliath, the cartel of the suns, and Nicolas Maduro. Family, we're live on military strategies. Welcome. You're like 24,000 people right now watching what's happening.
No.
Watch the group. The military leadership is still there and hasn't left yet. We see it here. Image. We're zooming in real time. And there it is. There it is. Everything. And the plane is there and God is bending.
He says the United States has spoken with many people since President Trump has met with many individuals. He mentions Venezuela, but he also mentions, for example, Assyria. He met with the president of Assyria, a guy with an interesting past. Sante. The guy was a terrorist, right? So does an interesting past make someone a terrorist? Seriously? No, that's not an interesting past. Sante. Who armed him? Who gave him weapons? Myself? An interesting past. Huh? They make, what's it called? The cross. Whoever they want.
You know he's not my favorite. Yolani. He's talking about Yolani. He's talking about the president. Well, he's there from Assyria. Diosdado. He's a partner and friend of the people from Hezbollah, from Iran, from Hamas. It's incredible. Gustavo Petro, wait, are they talking about Petro? Really, are they talking about Petro? We see him around here. We see him there, but don't miss a thing. Millimeter of this plane. We're not missing this. In fact, I want to open this up here in case something else comes up so we can see it. Come on, let's check it out.
Theirs are flying. Today we receive it for the hashtag always loyal. For the hashtag we're still here than Gustavo Petro. The United States does not have the right to close Venezuelan airspace. They can do it with their own airlines, but not with those from the rest of the world. No, not even with President Petro. Their planes keep flying. Today we received 304 arrived today, 264 from Phoenix, Arizona arrived. Without any kind of problem. Colombia resumes civil air service with Venezuela and urges others to follow. Gustavo Petro urges dialogue over barbarism, monitoring Venezuela, breaking news. Argentina demands immediate action from the International Criminal Court on Venezuela and calls for arrest warrants to be issued against the Maduro regime. Some rats who live hand in hand with Netanyahu. That's why yesterday in the Assembly it wasn't approved. It wasn't approved yesterday in the Assembly, a proposal to declare, maybe to repeal one. Yes, but it is. What's the document called? Is
it interesting, huh?
The approving law, to repeal the approving law of our accession to the International Criminal Court. And goodbye with you.
Of course. If Nicolas Maduro withdraws from the international law of the International Court, he doesn't have to recognize it. And if they put him on a wanted list, it doesn't do any good. They're really clever, huh? What they're doing is incredible. Well, is this plane here? What does this plane mean? Let's talk a little. What does plane mean now? Why is the plane there? What are the details and what can you tell us? That plane is a plane. It's a tanker plane. It's an in-flight refueling plane. It's a plane that serves to supply other planes. Does that mean that a military operation is currently taking place in that area? In other words, an operation is underway there. Obviously, the United States forces have planes. If there are planes, then right now there are. By the way, thank you very much to Daniel for those 50 memberships, Daniel. Thank you so much, Daniel. If that plane is there right now, it's simply because there are fighter jets around. But also, there's a plane right in this area, not very far from here. What is radar? The radar is the E3, the Airborne Warning and Control System, is a plane that also, inside. Well, it just disappeared, huh? Did they just cut it off? Did they turn off the transponder? That plane is dedicated to giving intelligence and air control from the air about enemy threats. Identify aircraft, give combat instructions, guide planes, guide missiles. If they are launched, it can also provide information for missile guidance and accuracy. It can monitor communications, and it can also track ground targets. All of this. Soon, we will have a very special guest on military strategies who will talk to us about all of this because he has been in one of those planes. He has been inside. He has seen how they work. He has been there. Knowing all the details of military doctrine, of how this type of aircraft works. I'll tell you now, if that plane is there, an attack must be launched. No attack will happen without an airborne warning and control system present. It must be there. Airborne warning and control system is actually the most important plane in any attack or defense deployment. Without that plane, which is the key, it's the main piece. From the United States military engine, it's unlikely that an attack would be launched. And the airborne warning and control system is there. And it's the first time that we know there's an airborne warning and control system flying in that operation. It's the first time. First time. So we have to keep that in mind. We have to pay a lot of attention to the details with this story. All right, shall we listen to Donald J. Trump now? What happened? By the way, another plane just showed up. C-17 en route to East Puerto Rico from here. We're tracking it over here. And we'll keep it in mind that C-17 can transport ammunition, logistics, materials. We're going to put all of Venezuela here.
No.
If something comes up, we'll see it there. We'll see it live. Meanwhile, Diosdado with the MAZ.
But what about the justice of it? When your body's a narcos, they call.
He's still out there with his show. Any day could be the last. What has Trump said?
If it is found that survivors were actually killed while clinging onto that boat, should Secretary Hegseth, Admiral Bradley, or others be punished?
I think you're going to find that this is war, that these people were killing our people by the millions, actually, if you look over a few years. I think last year we lost close to 300,000 people were killed. That's not mentioning all the families. Have you seen what happens with the families of not only the people killed, the people that are trying to get their son or their daughter off of this poison that they've been fed? I think you're going to find that there's a very receptive. What did he say? Those boats. And very soon we're going to start doing it on land too, because we know every route, we know every house, we know where they manufacture this crap, we know where they put it all together. And I think you're going to see it very soon on land also. Yeah, please.
It's incredible. Donald Trump is bringing some sense to a debate that's happening right now in the United States about, yes, when. In the month of September, the United States of America launched an attack against one of the drug traffickers' boats from Narcos. They survived the first attack, and then he sent a second attack to finish them off. Whether that's legal or ethical, there's a debate. Right now, the country discusses that issue, but not the 200,000 lives lost annually because of it. Because of people like Nicolas Maduro and Donald Trump, he just said it, asking, "Are you talking about something?" What is trivial compared to the pain those people inflict on our country? We are at war. This is a war, and soon you will know it. And you will know it because soon we will also go by land. We hear the number, and we're going to translate it.
You support the decision to... Mr. President, if it is found that survivors were actually killed while clinging onto that boat, should Secretary Hegseth, Admiral Bradley, or others be punished?
He says, should I go to Secretary Pete or some commander or general? Or should he be punished for having launched that attack? He says,
I think you're going to find that this is war.
I think you're going to find, or you're going to realize that this is a war. This is a war. Community. This is not a non-governmental organization where we go around saving people who are doing things around the world. This is a war. The United States is fighting the terror caused by narcos. And it's doing what it has to do. Some guys who intend to do a lot of harm to a country. The decision was made. It's the United States.
That these people were killing our people. That one.
Those people were killing our people.
Actually, over a few years, it's by the millions.
Millions. Just look at recent years.
I think last year we lost close to 300,000 people were killed.
He says the last one we saw involved 300,000 people they killed.
That's not mentioning all the families. Have you seen what happens with the families?
He says we must mention the families. Have you seen what happened to them?
Not only the people killed, the people that are trying to get their son or their daughter off of this poison that they've been fed.
He says, all the people who have died trying to get their children out of this madness.
I think you're going to find that there's a very receptive ear to doing exactly what they're doing, taking out those boats.
He says you'll find something quite interesting. Direct or clear that needs to be taken out. We have to throw away these canisters. We have to put an end to
them. And Very soon we're going to start doing it on land, he says.
We'll soon start doing it by land.
Because we know every route, we know every house, we know where they manufacture.
He says, we know everything. We know where they make it, where they make that crap.
This crap. We know every house. He says that where they
We know who they are, where they do everything.
this manufacture this crap. We know where they put it all together. He says
We know where they store it. He says where they put it all together. I mean, he knows where the
warehouses are. And I think you're going to see it very soon on land also. Yep. He says.
Will you see this from land soon? Hey, United States, now that something just came to my mind. It was presented precisely today, or it came out in the press. An attack drone model like the Iranian ones. In fact, it's made with reverse engineering from the Iranian Sajid models. These drones that are used in Ukraine or that have been used in war, for example, the one in Israel, the United States has built its own. The price is about $35,000 for each attack drone. To destroy targets, could the United States launch drones instead of launching missiles that cost $4 million each? It could be. We might see an experiment, right? Interesting. Are they putting it in the deck? Pay attention to this. Who are they putting in the deck? Can't believe it. I can't believe it. Attention.
Thousands of kilos of cocaine in the United States, the main people behind drug trafficking. They don't travel by boat in the Caribbean. Instead, they go to the same parties that Donald Trump attends. It's unacceptable that the United States is threatening Venezuela with invasion. Donald Trump, who kills young people, bombs ships in the Caribbean, and threatens Colombia, Venezuela, and Mexico.
What happened with Irene is tremendous.
Using drug trafficking as an excuse, he announced a pardon to secure votes for the convicted former president of Honduras.
To 45 years for.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous. It's abominable. She and her husband taking the money from the Venezuelans, also being advisors to Nicolas Maduro's regime and to Chavez as well. They interviewed Monedero today. I'm not even going to show it because that would just give visibility to a guy who is currently involved in a sexual scandal in Spain. And it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I don't know how this woman can still be there, but there she is. All right. She's the same one who always supports all these groups and is against Israel. She's the same one who constantly launches attacks. And honestly, he's very desperate. If Nicolas Maduro's defender is Irene Montero, she lacks credibility and had to leave Spain as a politician. Why? She doesn't matter there now? Also, notice something in this image we're seeing. The first rows of generals don't appear. Tremont doesn't appear. We don't know if he's there. We don't know.
This week Sunday 23rd, 289 kilos of marijuana. In the Amazon Sunday, Wednesday 27th, 138 kilos of marijuana in Lara 90.
Is Diasti talking now about them seizing a lot of drugs in Venezuela? No. Tremendous. They want to laugh at the world. They want to laugh at everyone. They have no scruples at all, and they will laugh at everyone as long as Donald Trump wants. We also have to be clear, the waiting time is coming to an end. The United States can't keep having without acting. That level of military presence in the Caribbean Sea is offensive. Politicians from the Democratic Party are going to start making things tough. They're going to start putting obstacles in the way of launching military operations. And Donald Trump, he has to make a decision now, launch now, right at this moment. It has to be done. It has to be done now. We can't keep waiting. There's no time to wait. It can't be that we're still waiting. To see what will happen and how far this story will go. I think this has to be clear. It has to be clear. Argentina. Congratulations to Argentina and its people on acquiring amazing Strikers vehicles. A great moment for Argentina. This is what happens when you sit down with the right people, as Aliarte did. When you sit down with people like China, like Russia, they sell to you military equipment that isn't worth anything, that later, when it comes down to real combat, is useless. Look, since Milei partnered with the United States, the economy has been strong. The army is now recovering, rearming, restructuring, and reinventing Argentina's military capabilities. Today will be a very important step for Argentina's security. With this, F-16 planes bought from a European country with authorization from the United States of America will now become the spearhead of Argentina's air operations. In fact, Donald Trump has been so interested in Argentina having this type of aircraft to guarantee its sovereignty and ensure its security in its airspace that he has facilitated the transport from Europe to the South American continent with refueling planes. Trump told Millie, "Don't worry, I'll help you get those planes to your country." There it is. That one. That's the main point. Getting together right now with Donald Trump means, yes, it's synonymous with well-being for your country, security for your country. Look at El Salvador now. Surveillance drones are making El Salvador even safer. El Salvador is now going to have security technology with its alliance with the United States to keep cleaning the country of all the trash that has been here for so many years. All of this happens because of these policies, and in the end, this is what we get. It's not the same to have an F-16 with its timing and settings done, with its maintenance, with the latest technology weaponry.
Yeah.
We have planes that fly, yet we don't know how. Su-30 from El Libertador base in Venezuela. The other day, we saw images of planes without engines. We saw disassembled planes. 4 or 5 planes. This is not Venezuela. Venezuela was once the most powerful military country in the Southern Hemisphere when the Air Force received the F-16s. Or one of the most powerful in terms of Air Force. The decline that Nicolas Maduro has brought. Look, Chavez. Yesterday I told Nito that I consider Chavez, who was truly committed to his cause, intellectually superior to Nicolas Maduro. And I've seen satellite images from Chavez's time when the army was different, but how is it right now? Nicolas Maduro has retained both the military and social budgets for the people's well-being. And what he has turned Venezuela into is a real dump of misery, poverty, and suffering for his own people. That's right. That's how it is. We keep looking at the map. Family, if you're live with us, please, your likes are super important. Leave your likes. 25,000 people right now. Thanks to Gaston and Mar from the Guarimba channel. Thank you so much. We're at 346,000 followers. We'll reach 46. We've made it. We've reached 346. Thank you so much. Let's go for 47. Family, come on. Everyone subscribe. You have to subscribe. Reference channel, along with many others, for information about what's happening in Venezuela. All friends, all in the same boat. No one above anyone else, and only one goal. To see Venezuela free, to see Venezuela shine as it should, like a star in the sky. Do you ever have to see Venezuela from space? Where there are no more power outages, where everyone has water, where everyone has food and access to social services, where people are happy and smiling. They don't settle for just a snack or a small cup of coffee. You deserve much more than that.
Mucho más que.
Let's go to your comments. Come on, let's check out the super chats you're leaving us tonight here on Military Strategies. Let's see, we've already put the memberships here. We've already talked about them. Thank you so much for those memberships. Family, 50 memberships from Daniel, huh? It sounds quick. 50 memberships, let's see. The fight against theft by left-wing politicians continues. Daniel says, in Argentina, Andrea, countdown for Gira fails. Soon Venezuelans will live in peace, Daniel. Military strategies, Argentina news on the scandal. Is Millennium Soccer missing the World Cup draw? No idea. Sebastian, do you think something will happen in the next 24 hours? I'm going to be honest with you, and here I'm going to show how honest I can be. I think nothing is going to happen tonight. And I'm going to tell you why, Sebastian. Because I think that when what has to happen is going to happen, we'll find out when we see a headline. Explosions in Caracas, explosions on the coast of Venezuela, explosions here, explosions there. I think that will be the scenario through which we'll start to discover that things are happening. What do you think of ADS? Is it better than flight radar? I like that I can filter military or civilian planes for free. That's very good, Christian. That's very good. I use flight radars. I use both. But I use this one specifically because it gives me a hybrid map version where you can see the terrain. That is, for me, it's much more convenient for orientation purposes to be able to come here and show the runway with good resolution, the takeoff runway. I don't have that with ADS chain, or at least I don't know how, since it's so complicated. And I think ADS is much more... filtering is much more comprehensive. Definitely, also, it's free, as you said. But what interests me about this one is the paid version, which I have. We invest in creating content on estrategias militares. The paid version removes ads and lets you view everything clearly without limits. Then it has something that's also very interesting, which is, for example, this. Let's look at it here so you can see it. Let's take a look at it. I get activated. Good. It offers an interesting option, the ability to see the plane over its position on the ground. And we're seeing this plane that's passing right now over the Keys. This P-17, we can see it here. That's heading to Puerto Rico. 33,000 feet high. We can see a lot of details in real time, and the interface is much more user-friendly for everyone, which is why I like this one better. Let's continue. Airbus 340 plane with Viasa fleeing. It's likely headed to Havana. That's how they return the diplomatic corps to Venezuela. Tips for those struggling to understand. Why is the sentry important? All right, let's see. I'm going to show you. Let's understand the following situation. Hello, we're going to go to the map. To understand what we're going to explain now, why is the sentry so important? And why is it a key piece in this story? How does aerial warfare work? Here's a brief summary. With the basics so people can understand it. We're not going to get into technical topics because that bores people and in the end, nobody understands anything. How does a fighter jet shoot down another fighter jet? It has to turn on its radar to detect that aircraft in the sky. It has to detect it and lock it on its radar. Launch the missile and it will target and shoot down the plane. That's typically how it works. There are missiles that, obviously, the guidance system they use against the enemy aircraft is based on heat. The engines emit heat, and those missiles have a kind of seeker head that goes toward the infrared heat source. That's what it's called. All right. Let's imagine the following scenario. There's an airborne warning and control system. There's an E-3 sentry in this area we see here, in the Aruba zone. Curaçao, outside Venezuelan airspace, currently circling. There are some planes, some U-30s, that just took off from Caracas, from La Carlota, for example. Let's say, and from this airport, those planes just took off and they're heading north. They're heading north towards La Orchila because they've detected the presence of fighter jets that are in this area.
No.
in this area that we see here. Suppose there's currently a combat group of F-18S Harriers or F-35S there. Will the U-30s defend the airspace over La Orchila and Gran Roque? Is it for sovereignty or because it's Venezuelan territory? What's going on here? If we have an airborne warning and control system, the airborne warning and control system will detect the presence of those enemy planes in the air. Before the enemy planes detect the presence of any aircraft that is in the northern area of Gran Roque, I'm giving examples. Distances will vary greatly, and the scenario we're describing would be at a much greater distance. Let's say the United States fighter jets are much further north in this area. With their radars turned off, this is important, the fighter jets right now in the United States have their radars turned off. Why? Because there's a single plane, which is the airborne warning and control system, that plane we've mentioned, the E-3 Sentry, the one that has that circle, that dish, or that plate. On the top part of the plane's fuselage, which is a radar, it's performing airspace scanning tasks. That plane is connected with the rest of the aircraft that are part of that system that has just been set up. That is a kind of communications network through Link 16, another type of communication system that can also exist. And all of them are receiving the information that the airborne warning and control system plane is distributing to each of the aircraft. What does this mean? You'll see. Meanwhile, Venezuela, which doesn't have that aircraft system, has to send the U-30s the F-16s with their radars on, emitting signals to detect any aircraft in this area, whether on land or at sea. The others are silent. Only the airborne warning and control system plane is emitting a signal. The airborne warning and control system detects the U-30s that are south of Gran Roque de la Horchila. The U-30s fail to detect the F-15S, F-16s, F-18S, or F-35S north of Gran Roque. Because they are not emitting any signal, there is no signal, and they are still too far away to detect them due to the radar bounce they have. What happens next? That the fighter jets can launch their anti-aircraft missiles against the Venezuelan planes without using their radar? The same airborne warning and control system plane, the one we're talking about, can act as a radar for the launched anti-aircraft missiles. This happened, for example. Recently, during the war between Pakistan and India, Pakistan downed many Indian planes. Not because their planes were superior, it's because they put an early warning plane, a radar plane, in the sky, which had the ability to identify threats in real time in the sky. That information was passed to the planes. The planes fired the missiles and shot them down. The Indians couldn't see where the missiles were coming from. They couldn't see them. Well, that's exactly it. That's fair. That's what could happen in a scenario like that. It's one of the examples.
Es uno de los ejemplos. También
that plane, the E-3, can be used to create missions, to track targets, to create entry routes. It can detect where the enemy radar signals are. It can look for gaps in the enemy radar area to enter through there. It's a complete plane with many functions and highly qualified personnel on board. They operate and receive real-time intelligence on all operational events. That's why this plane is so important. It's a plane that will give you a technological and tactical advantage superior to what Venezuela might have.
No.
Imagine F-35 planes paired with an airborne warning and control system. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. That's why the presence of the Sentry, the E-3 Sentry, is so important for that reason. Nico, thank you so much, my friend, for being here with us. Ramon, thanks a lot. Really, Miriam? Does Trump know what he's doing? Don't despair. He's trying to protect his troops and Venezuelan hostages. I think so, Miriam. I think that's what we're doing, and I hope that's the case. Angel, thanks for the memberships. And Ansel, thank you, my friend. Welcome to Military Strategy. Thank you so much, Sansoy. Greetings to Uruguay from Aruba, and thanks for the live streams. Brother Javier, thanks so much. Thank you for being there with us, Javier. Our contact there, Thanks to Gaston for sending everyone to La Guarimba. We're all here now. Guard duty time. Also listening to the disturbed Diosti.
Law, both internal and international law. Yexe hermano, whoever messes with Venezuela dries up. The truth is that with each passing day, the political cost of keeping Yexe in the Pentagon rises faster than the foam on a beer. In the Pentagon, no matter how used they are to chaos, they usually don't.
Before, the target was Marco Rubio. Now it's Pete Jexe. He's the Secretary of War. We're almost 30,000 strong family. Trending channel, talking about Venezuela, sharing intelligence, detailing step-by-step what's happening. And for those of you who just arrived, right now in this space that seems calm, that seems like nothing is happening, there are fighter jets, a refueling plane, an air command plane, and an airborne radar plane right now above the skies. The attack could happen right now. The tools to do it are in the air, and they're in Venezuela. They're near Venezuela. Also, this very afternoon, there were B-52 bombers whose location we don't know. But we believe they could be there. And be careful, because the B-52s with fuel in the air, they can stay as long as they want. They are long-range bombers for very long operations. Very long, and they can stay as long as they want. In the past, during the Cold War, B-52 planes were sent from the United States to patrol the border with Germany and return with nuclear weapons. In that case, now we're talking about traveling 4,000, 5,000 kilometers, staying there for a couple of hours, and coming back. Is it feasible? Besides, the crew can be rotated, they can rest. It's a plane that practically, with all the personnel it carries on board, can be operated that easily. That's why it's a strategic bomber, to stay airborne longer. They would be waiting for the order from Donald Trump, the order to liberate Venezuela, this regime, the Chavista regime. I would have liked to see Hugo Chavez in this situation. It would have been more interesting, I must confess. It would have been more interesting to see Chavez in this situation. No, with Maduro, Maduro can offer us little dances, Maduro can offer us phrases. Hugo Chavez would have been something different, but for now we have to settle for Maduro. Thank you, Rafael, for those memberships, my friend. Greetings. 10 memberships, thank you very much. Let's also take a look at how the pizzerias around the White House are doing. Let's see what's going on with the Pentagon, if we know there's information right now. And of course, let's also thank all the moderators of this channel. Please, everyone, thank them for the great work they do with us. Now in Venezuela?
No.
The time in Venezuela right now is only 9:37.
Fíjate.
It's not even midnight. And this can happen. It can occur. You guys, where are you? Tell us where you are. Let's check reliable planes. We're looking for all the planes. I don't see it. I don't see it. We noticed planes like Iberia arriving from Panama to Madrid. This one's headed to Bogota, Zurich, and that one to Sao Paulo. To another island, this one goes to Amsterdam. It has to take a huge detour, going up instead of passing directly over the Venezuelan flight information region. An operation is currently underway. There's also little or very little traffic in the Trinidad and Tobago corridor area. Although it's early, this corridor starts to get busier later on. Throughout the night, that corridor starts to liven up. And we heard goodbye, Tato,
who move quietly under diplomatic immunity. Because we're going to talk, of course. Maria Corina went 72 hours from last Friday to Monday without answering calls or connecting, not even a voice message or emoji, yet people ask, how? Emoji. I know everything. Not even an I'm on airplane mode, nothing. Total silence. According to MICHI, that means one thing, she's moving. The rest is just for social media and her fan club. Careful, don't let anyone be fooled. Maria La Chiflada Machado isn't going to Oslo to free nations or give grand speeches on democracy. She's looking out for herself. She's after her $1 million. Her borrowed applause and edited photo let a few foreign outlets keep selling her as the protagonist of an epic that fewer and fewer people want to finance each day.
Let's discuss the Nobel Prize issue. Maria Corina won't attend. To Oslo, not until Venezuela is free. At least, that's what she has said. It'll happen before Oslo. Oslo will be insignificant. In a couple of days, I don't know. Time is really tight. Time is really tight. Unless there was an operation. A surprise mission to capture and remove Nicolas Maduro? I see that the timing is very tight. At least it seems to me that it's very tight.
The show is set, the lights are on, and the characters are ready for their annual performance. Now she must decide whether to get out of the car and go into the theater. Because since fear is free and her plans haven't worked out well, we might see some surprises. But don't worry, because we'll have the information live and direct. I'll say goodbye for now before heading to Furi, then York for Christmas. I'm also going to Oslo to bring you all the details firsthand. Remember, I'm your friend, Fino Fitness. That's important. Over and out. Vos datatum. It has peaceful people. It's not worth it. In general,
He's sick. He's sick from the state. They want to show an image of having everyone under control. We know when they post on social media, we know where they are. No. He wants to scare people. That's why he makes the hammer. He makes the hammer to spread fear. He thinks that putting my friends from Guarimba, by naming me too, naming Jesslyn, naming a lot of people, Eduardo, Menoni, listing many people, Di Costa. They're going to intimidate us. You're not going to scare us. You have to understand that. Your fears are strength. The more you try to scare us, the stronger we'll get and the more things we'll reveal. That's the problem they have. They're worried about it, aren't they? They're really worried about it.
No.
We keep sharing information, providing documents, and explaining. Stories. They're even capable of threatening Donald Trump himself. Listen to this. It's a classic. They took away his YouTube channels. They removed him from everywhere. This guy is a classic.
Repeat. And I say it with complete seriousness. And there's no hypothetical analysis here. The United States decides just to cover up the scandal, just like he said. Look, I'm not the one saying it. He said it. Just to cover up the scandal about the papers that are going to come out about Epstein, in which the man from the White House is involved. That's it. If he decides to attack, that's all. They're just covering up the scandal. They'll dig their own grave, you hear? Their defeat will be huge. They'll end up in a Vietnam here, and it won't just be with Venezuela.
What makes you say that? I've been saying and warning about this for days, not to scare anyone. They have a Cuban-made manual. In conclusion, neither Perez Osuna nor I reached it. On the show La Otra Noche, there are manuals that I have access to, confidential ones from the regime, in which it is clearly seen, or it is clearly known, how they want to create a group that destabilizes the country. In the case that Maria Corina or Edmundo come back to govern, they want to create a kind of guerrilla group. They want to go back to the times of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. But in Venezuela, how can we prevent them from achieving it? Well, we have to follow the doctrine of Israel with Lebanon. The doctrine of Israel with Lebanon is anyone who raises their arm against us will feel the arm of Israel. I'm sugarcoating the words. The reality is different. A certain Hassan Nasrallah directly threatened Israel. Nasrallah is no longer here. Nasrallah's replacement threatened Israel. He's no longer here. Fuad Shukr. A bunch of Hezbollah commanders threatened Israel. They're no longer here. Israel has handled all of them. They haven't left a single one. That's the key. That's why I think that's what the United States wants to do. It's what Israel has done in Idem, what Israel has done in Lebanon. Eliminate the entire leadership swiftly, decisively, and thoroughly, leaving no chance. Not even a shred of hope. For whatever remains of Chavismo, it has to be something forceful, something striking. Something that leaves the world stunned. Because war's about that, creating fear in the enemy and avoiding having to fight. When the enemy feels fear, that's your victory. That's where the United States is. The United States is currently in a complicated situation with Russia and an even more complicated situation with China. In the next 15 years, the United States has to start positioning itself on the ground. It has to stop thinking about wars that happen far from its territory and start thinking about what's happening in its southern hemisphere. What's happening there is that interference from Russia, China, and other countries like Iran is gaining power and influence within national governments. This allows them to have passports with direct access in some cases to the United States of America. It allows them to have businesses, launder money, finance terrorist activities that later result in attacks around the world. And a series of circumstances that are not sustainable for the national security of the United States of America. Using that point as a reference, the United States is now focused on that, on providing security to the hemisphere.
South. And that's it.
That's how it's happening. This is happening. When is this going to happen? I think we're going to be surprised. We're going to be very surprised. By the way, this United States of America military plane is flying through Cuban airspace with total impunity, without any fear at all. They're a joke, this plane. Maritime Reconnaissance, Marine Surveillance. Right now, Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, it doesn't matter. I use both names. So there's no... Sensitivity causes someone to cry and search for colorful fish in the sea. The United States is not going to allow any more boats or any more rafts, with whatever, to enter the United States illegally. This war will cost lives. On both sides. On both. It's logical to think so. Family. I'm leaving now because Nitu called me to his show and wants to talk and tell me something. I'm not sure what Nitu Perez Osuna wants, but I'm going over there. I'll rest here for a while, then we'll return later. Here on Military Strategies, or if Gaston is here later, or Mar is here. You already know we're going to be around here. Live. We're going to be live like every night. Family, see you in the next show here on Military Strategies. Best regards.